Jambo from Nairobi, Kenya.
Yeah, it's the Bleasdales. Be tripping.
That's what we do.
We tripping. So we have arrived in Nairobi, Kenya. My dream trip. This is a trip that I've been wanting to go on forever. Since I was a young girl, I always dreamed about going to or coming to Nairobi, Kenya. And so this weekend is Mother's Day weekend, and we have our 3-year anniversary that's next week. And so we decided to come on and come to Nairobi.
And I just got dragged along because I'm the husband, so happy life, happy wife.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
So I just got dragged into it. So, but
right.
we be tripping. So
here
we
we are.
go from Nairobi, Kenya.
So I just want to tell you guys the experience. Oh my God! First of all, traveling from Atlanta over here to Kenya, that in itself was a task.
8 hours flight time. That's just the beginning. Go ahead.
That was the what?
8 hours flight time. That's just the beginning.
Oh, that's just the first round.
Yeah.
That was just to get us to Paris. It was the 8 hours.
Yeah.
And then another 8 hours from Paris into Nairobi. But I don't think the flight was the problem.
The flight wasn't the problem.
The flight was smooth for the most part. No turbulence. And I love when we travel like that without any turbulence or not much turbulence. It was all of the things that we ran into trying to get here.
All the stuff that we thought that we had prepared for, like getting our visas and getting our COVID shot and all the stuff.
No, boo.
I mean, getting our COVID tests. And
I'm buying that up in the name of Jesus.
I'm tripping.
Yeah, you tripping. So I've COVID testing. Mm-hmm. Everything we had, because of course I'm always checking, doing the research on the places that we travel, that we go to. We had everything that was required because I'm always doing our research ahead of our trip, and so we did have our COVID testing. We actually did 2 tests just to make sure, because in Kenya requires you to have a negative COVID test 96 hours before before travel,
yeah,
right?
Before travel.
But then I read somewhere that Paris wanted a 72-hour
before you land in there.
Right. So we did one that would fit that 96-hour criteria, yes. And then we did one the following day to fit that 72-hour criteria. And I am so glad that we did that, because when we got to the airport in Atlanta, this was where the drama started. When we got to the airport in Atlanta, first to begin, my words. First to begin, we had our test results, we had our visas, we had everything that we planned for, everything that we thought that we was gonna, smooth sailing. So we got there, we turned in our documents and stuff like that. And then that's when I would say, excuse my language, all hell broke loose. I don't know about all hell broke loose, but first to begin, when we got to the front desk or to the
check-in,
not the check-in, but where you get ready, the boarding, when we got ready to board, right? So we stopped, we went upstairs because we were hungry, didn't have anything to eat. I was working all day. So we kind of rushed it. But when we get there, first of all, I am scared to death because the boarding gate was closed, y'all. Now, they started boarding at 5 o'clock. We arrived at the gate at 5:20, and it was closed.
But my wife wanted something to eat, so we went upstairs and we got something to eat. And then when we got to the gate, she said, "Oh gosh, the gate is closed." But so knowing how we do, hey, we just walked up to the desk and asked the question, and the guy was like, "No, we haven't really started boarding yet."
Right, thank God.
But you got to go in that line over there to confirm your documents, which we already did at the check-in.
That's what I thought we did at the check-in, was confirm documents, right? Because they won't give you your boarding pass and all of that if you don't have if you don't have your COVID testing within the correct time frame, if you don't have your passport, you don't have your visa and all of that stuff, right? No, that wasn't the case. There's still an additional verification part. And the line, when I tell you the line was like at least 60 people deep.
Deep, yep. Mm-hmm.
They were tripping. They were really tripping.
But let me tell you this. So normally we would go and sit down or, and get ready for the flight and whatever and have a seat. But, we went to find out because the door was closed. So we went up there and the guy told us we needed to go in the line. So we went in the line. But the other people, they just sat there in the lobby area waiting.
Like we generally would have done had the door not been closed. We would have just, because we had all of we thought we had completed the entire process, but because the door was closed, we made it to the gate.
We went to ask the question.
Wow, you're so dramatic.
Because we didn't want to trip to get on our trip.
Right. And so you so dramatic, God, and animated. So those people, they stayed behind, but then at the end they ended up having to get in that same line and have their documents verified. And it's a new thing. I get it, traveling with COVID, and then Paris is shut down completely. France is shut down, and so these are new protocols that they have implemented. And so it delayed the flight at least an hour or so.
Yep.
And not only that, some people, I guess their documents, they didn't have the correct documents. They couldn't even board the plane.
So they had to take that's another 10, 15, 20 minutes that they had to take them off they didn't get on the flight, but they had to take their luggage off the plane.
Remove the luggage. Yeah.
So, there was the delay. But the drama was with Sabrina's husband that be tripping is that we in the line. And I'm scanning the area, watching it because I'm doing my due diligence. I'm waiting just like everybody else. Here comes some other people just feel that they can just.
We got to put that in the video.
Yes, that they can just cut in the line so that we can tell people why your husband be tripping.
Wow.
So I just politely said, excuse me.
No, you didn't politely say. You was like, excuse me. The line is back there, and I get it, but he be tripping, y'all. He really be tripping. But we made it through that.
Okay. So we got on the flight. Flight left. Nice flight, 8 hours. She slept. I was watching movies.
Wow. I did not sleep.
Yes, you did. You slept.
When? On the flight to Paris?
Yes, you did.
Wow.
Yes, you did. And I let her sleep. The minute I closed my eyes, here she go. Baby, can I get your shoes to go to the restroom? The minute I closed my eyes, I let her sleep for however long she slept. And it didn't happen once, it happened a couple times. But, that's where we are. So we got to Paris. Everything was good, delayed. So, we got through all the...
Mr. Bleasdale's be really tripping. Y'all know that, right? All of this drama that he's talking about. Yeah, I used his shoes because he wore his slides on the flight. I wore my tennis shoes and I took them off. And so when it was time to use the restroom, I just politely...
Wake me up.
No, I tap you softly, gently.
Excuse me, baby. But go ahead with your story.
But anywho, that flight, it was smooth. I had no complaints. And although we were delayed, I didn't complain. And one thing about me, I never complain when we're delayed because I always see it as a gift from God. And I'm very thankful because I always see it as God protecting us from the unknown. And so any delays that we ever have when we're traveling, I just roll with it. Some people, they were like, oh my God, what's going on? And I'm like to myself, y'all need to chill out. Y'all need to be praying like I'm praying that, we're covered. We're going to...
And onto the other story. Wow. So we got there now. We trying to get to our connecting flight, and I took it upon myself to print off the little QR code. My wife didn't. So we got there.
Okay, you got to tell them what the QR code is.
The QR code is.
He doesn't know.
Go ahead, then.
He doesn't know because I did all of our document.
But I printed off my QR code.
Yes. So what happened is that with these new COVID restrictions in place, right? and guidelines. There are certain requirements to enter into the country. And so part of that was a health evaluation form, which I submitted online. I got this QR code. It didn't nowhere say that we needed to print it out. So I was going to have it on my phone, and Sean printed his out. So now we get to Paris, right?
Back in.
To make our connection flight. How about they got the verified paperwork as well? The same paperwork that held us up in Atlanta. So now they have to verify the same paperwork.
And apparently, the people who were at the desk and the people who were doing the check-in weren't on the same page. So here I go with my QR code. The man said, "Okay, you can go." My wife don't have hers, so now he sends her.
No, your wife had hers, but it's on the phone. I didn't print it out.
It's not printed. My correction, she didn't print hers out, so she had to go in the printout section line. So I'm thinking, okay, I got 2 codes printed out. They're not scanning the code, so I'm like, let me walk over to her and give her my other code, so she ain't gonna have to go in the line. So here I go with my good Samaritan self, trying to save her some time. And I hand her the code, and she walks up to them, and then all of a sudden, the guy starts saying, "Oh, we can't take this code. It has to be like this." So now both of us get kicked to the print the code line.
After he had initially
got through.
Right, he got through. He was on his way walking into the
But I'm gonna wait for my wife.
Of course,
I'm gonna wait for my wife.
Of course.
So I stood there, and the guy was like, "Yeah, you can stand here." And then I said, so that's how we got there, but. Then we both got kicked to the go print off the code line.
And the go print off the code line was super, super long as well.
And chaotic.
Yeah. And then, that poor lady.
Yeah.
That poor lady was so stressed out because everybody had their QR code on their cell phone, on their mobile device, because nowhere did it tell us to print it out. So we all had it on our mobile devices. And the technology that the world of technology that we're living in 2001, 2021.
Wow, she tripping. She is tripping.
So the
2021 period that we're living in, the millennials are
right,
up to date.
Right. Even our technology, right?
Yeah.
Even the technology.
That's what she meant to say.
The technology, with technology, we should have been able to just have it on our device, and then they just scan it like, hello. So they made us print it out. It was a whole big deal. So everybody had to email that code link to the lady who at Air France who was printing them out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she was printing them out. And poor lady, she was stressed out because everybody was rushing her, because everybody was concerned because nobody wanted to miss the flight over into Nairobi. Mm-hmm. Even the pilot, y'all, came off the plane
to try to see what was happening. Because, it was like about an hour delay when we finally got settled in. But long and short of the story is that the same code that I showed the man when I went there is the same code that was printed off.
Right.
So all of a sudden now he starts accepting those codes.
Right. Anywho, not only that. So now we get into Nairobi.
Yep.
We land into Nairobi. This same code.
Before we got to the code place. Stairs. A lot of stairs to walk. No escalator. Wow. Stairs up and down, up and down, up and down. But go ahead.
Wow. Okay, so what he's talking about is when we deplaned out like on a runway, really. And so we had to walk into the building, and so we had to do a lot of walking, then up the stairs, and then down the stairs, and then up the stairs again.
Down the stairs, and up the stairs, and down the stairs.
Wow. And so
time we got there, we were sweating.
Not only was we sweating.
That's another story.
It was hot, and then they had the audacity to be checking temps.
Scanning people for temperatures. So here we are. We nervous now. We sweating. Our temperature's up. We got a negative COVID test, and we sweating, and they scanning. So now we thinking, oh gosh, our temperature is gonna be up.
Because of the walking, man. But anywho, we made it. So now we get to the line, because they have to check to make sure you have this QR code. So overall, had an amazing time. Looking forward to adventuring out. Today is our official day 1 in Nairobi. And so the Bleasdale is going to bring you guys or keep you guys abreast on our trip. So make sure you tune into our channel. The Bleasdales be tripping.
Subscribe, like, share.
All right. Subscribe, like, and share for more videos.
And you see us tripping.
The Bleasdales be tripping.
Peace out.